Trevor Story has gotten off to one of the hottest starts in the history of Major League Baseball. We're going to do an analysis now and talk about why he can continue to put up PlayStation numbers throughout this season. And first, we're going to start with his stride action. And his stride action is not the reason he's putting up such ridiculous numbers right now, but it is unique, and it may be the most efficient way to coil and uncoil the lower body. We're looking at here how he uses almost a pitcher's unload, where the foot comes in towards home plate, getting increased coiling action of the hips before it comes back to a normal stride position, as a pitcher would, starting to unwind the lower body. I recall our elite pitching instructor, Travis Kerber, and I talking about this 5 or 10 years ago, is asking why more hitters don't do this type of unload. And I referenced Gary Sheffield and said he does. Obviously, Sheffield had very, very good lower body rotation and an explosive lower body dynamic that allowed him to hit so many home runs. This isn't the reason that Trevor Story's putting up such ridiculous numbers, but I think it is a way for him to increase his lower body rotational speed, and it may be something you see with more hitters, even in a teaching aspect, down the road. Now we'll take a look at his mechanics from the side. He uses a modified toe tap. You see the foot doesn't come completely to the ground, but he sets up and posts up on his back leg very similar to the way a hitter does in a toe tap. This allows him to gather his weight to the backside and then use this unique coiling action. You can see how the belt buckle is extremely turned to his back leg while still keeping his upper trunk and torso onto the pitcher. This gives him dynamic torque in the swing and can increase his lower body speed and tightening the core for a much tighter slot, which we're going to see now. Story's slot and tightness to his body is one of the best I've seen of any mechanical swing so far we've evaluated this year. He is extremely short to the ball, as you can see how tight the handle of the bat stays to his shoulder during the sliding action. The lower body is completely open at this point, with the upper body still trailing, showing the torque I previously mentioned in his swing. This is going to allow him to have ridiculous bat speed. And we've seen so far that some of his exit velos on the average have been over 100 miles an hour. 6 of his 10 balls put in play up to this point of doing the analysis were over 100 miles an hour. So his hard hit average is off the charts. Even here in a ball he was slightly fooled on, that pitch was away because the bat speed that he generated was so good, even at a not optimal position of contact, with the rear elbow in front of the body more, he was still able to get the ball out of the park. Now he does have, as I show here, ideal launch angle as well. So you can see his time to impact, the launch angle, the shortness of the swing, and the speed of the lower body uncoil are all a scary, scary situation for opposition because Story can continue these numbers throughout the year. So when does Cinderella's carriage turn back into a pumpkin? And I'm not sure that it does. Now I'm not saying Story's torrid pace will continue throughout the season, but the numbers will stay inflated. And here's the reason why. According to Fangraphs, there's 2 behaviors here that I think are worth noting. One, he hasn't shown a behavior of chasing so far, and it's just below the major league average. So if he can refrain from chasing, of course pitchers are going to start to adjust to him, but I don't see a glaring hole in his swing because the mechanics are so tight. So if he can continue to keep from chasing, and I've already mentioned that 6 of his first 10 balls were put in play over 100 miles an hour, which means if you put it around the zone, Story's going to hit it hard. And this is why his numbers will continue to be at the top of the league throughout 2016.